Hey guys, I'm Emma Wilson, SCA volunteer and your guide to Virtually Wild Communities. So what we do for Virtually Wild Communities is we'll go out to a Houston location and talk to experts who know things about wildlife, who know things about gardens, who know things about everything really. And we'll bring it back to you so you can watch it from the comfort of your own home and stay COVID safe. Knowledge for everybody!
The kind of bees that would use a man-made bee house are going to be carpenter bees and mason bees. Those are going to be the most common ones that are going to use the houses like this, or like the kinds with the boards and the holes drilled in it. There are some bees, bumblebees will use man-made houses, but they take a little bit different kind of house setup. So they actually are semi-social insects. So they'll live together in a group, whereas these bees will live near each other, but they make their own home. So a great reason to make a bee house, especially for native bees, which often get overlooked, everybody's all about the honey, is because our native bees, our carpenter bees, our mason bees, our sweat bees are way more efficient at pollinating plants than the honeybees do. Honeybees are a big deal because we get honey from them, but without our native bees, we wouldn't have a lot of the fruits and vegetables that we like to eat. The bumblebees especially are really great at vibrating the anthers to shake the pollen to pollinate certain vegetable flowers. So solitary bees, they collect nectar and pollen. When they're young, they feed pollen mostly to their young because it has a lot of protein and they need that to grow. As they get older, they eat mostly nectar, but they'll also eat the pollen too for the protein. So they're using the flower for food and they're collecting things from it to feed their young, but they don't make honey because they don't live long enough. The reason that honeybees create honey, they make stores of honey in their hive and they'll use it for overwintering or waiting out a bad period if there's no flowers blooming, whereas the native bees, they only live for a year, so they only have to collect what they can eat and then what they provide for their young when they're creating their homes. I think the variety in bees is really cool because bees can be so teeny tiny, like small as a gnat, to I think the largest bee in the world is like 1.5 inches long. So I just think the variety of bees is really cool. The variety of shapes and colors. I'm gonna go back to the honeybees because everybody knows and likes them. So I've always wanted to try an experiment and do what's called a top bar hive, which is a little bit different than what the typical square box hive you see honeybees in, which is the length straw hive. So those are really cool. You can actually suspend them from trees, and I think in a lot of different countries around the world, in African countries, they'll keep bees and they'll use those kinds of hives to keep predators away. I really think bumblebee hives are really cool to keep and maintain. Bumblebees are just really cute. I think they're fuzzy and squishy, and you know, I could give one a hug. And I think sweat bees are really cool too. They're kind of small and they're really shiny and metallic blues and greens, and they're just really pretty.
Today we're going to show you how to make this simple type. That here we use straws that are paper straws, but I'm going to show you how to make one out of all recyclable materials. Basically, if you notice, it has to have like a bunch of holes in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our own holes. I have here a recycled paper towel tube and some old brown paper and a couple of other things here. I've got scissors for cutting things. I have some tape and I have some string so that we can hang it up at the end. Don't forget, also have some markers or some pencils to decorate it. And what we're going to use instead of the paper straws is magazines. So have an old magazine laying around that you don't care about tearing up. Alright, so let's get started. So first thing you're going to do is tear a couple of pages out of the magazine. Alright, so we've got a couple of pages torn out of this magazine here. Next thing we're going to do is you're going to take your paper towel tube, or your other option could be like a toilet paper tube, or that little tiny tube that you get when you're done with the end of the plastic wrap. All good options. You're going to take these sheets of magazine paper. I know we're being so disrespectful, we're just tearing it up, right? And these are going to get rolled up into little tiny tubes. I'm going to cheat, guys, and I'm going to roll it around this pen. Look at that, guys, I just found a shortcut. Now, we have a bunch of different species of bees in Texas. So if you are a perfectionist and you're like, oh no, I couldn't roll them all up at the exact same size, don't worry about that at all, because different species of bees will then move into the bee house and make their homes. All right. Oh, this looks awesome. Look, guys, on the inside, now you can see we have a bunch of different sized holes for different species of bees. You ready? Now we're gonna put the whole thing together. Next thing is to go ahead and decorate. All right, now I have my decoration, and I am going to hang this up. What we're gonna do to hang it up now is take some string, and this can be any color, but I like red because it's bright and cheerful. And you're gonna tie a slip knot. Now, a slip knot is a knot that is tied around the string, and you can get help from a parent or teacher if you're not quite sure how to tie a slip knot. Okay, so we're gonna slip our slip knot right onto our paper towel tube here. And that's one side done. So then we're gonna leave some space, and you can leave as much space as you want to hang it from your garden. And then we're going to make another slip knot. So let's go ahead and cut the end off to make our second knot. And we're gonna make another slip knot right here on the end of the paper towel tube. There you go, one slip knot. All right. Slip, slip, slip. Knot, knot, knot. And there you go, and there you have it. Dun, dun, dun. One hanger. Now, if you want to, as an added step of decoration, you can also take another string and add some cool dangly things that would hang from the bottom, which I'm just gonna say is an awesome idea. But I thought of it, so I get to think it's awesome. So I'm going to cut a couple more lengths of string, and we're going to slip off one of these slip knots here and tie the string inside this slip knot so that we make some danglies. And the knot I'm using to attach this is called a lark's head knot, which is a knot that is often used in macrame. And again, if you don't know how to tie that knot, it's pretty simple, and you can probably find an adult to help you. Okay, going back to our main thing here. Dun, dun, dun. All right, there you go. Now you have something hanging with some dangly cool things on the end of it. And if you wanted to, you could hang charms on this, or beads, or just anything you wanted to make a really neat decoration for your garden. And that's also functional because you can invite some native solitary bees to come nest in here. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you have any more questions, don't forget to check out our website or these other cool resources for more stuff about bees and bee houses. See you next time.